Darling, it's my understanding from what you've told me that you were on the street for quite some time, yes? All right, and I take it when you were on the street you were primarily in your cat form? Understandable, after all, that would be most practical for maneuvering around and avoiding people if you don't want them to see your more human form. Well, about that, there is some inconvenience to that, and, I believe it's finally time you and I address it. You see, darling, you've been a wonderful guest, and I absolutely adore your company. You're so adorable, you're so polite, much more than what I'd expect from a simple street cat. The issue we have, though, is, well, there is one thing I'd expect from a street cat that you've brought into the house. Darling, when you're in your cat form, since your more feline instincts take over, you avoided getting drenched in rainwater, yes? I was afraid so. And you avoided getting wet at all costs? Oh dear. Yes, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Darling, you and I need to deal with your hygiene. What do you mean, what am I talking about? Surely your family would have... Oh. Did your family... I mean, did they never take proper care of you? Oh, I see. So, you're telling me, darling, that they mistreated you, malnourished you, threw you onto the street, called you an abomination, and they're still alive? I see. What are their names, darling? Oh, no reason at all, I'm just curious. Oh, how very lovely. And how do you spell those names? All right, thank you very much, darling. Oh, don't worry, I was just taking a little note. Now, darling, what do you know about hygiene, if anything? Oh, there's no need to look so ashamed, darling. Whatever you know, it is a result of your environment. It isn't a reflection of you, I promise. You don't know anything about it? Well, that's all right, darling. I have more than enough time to teach you. Now, let's start with the basics, shall we? Such as bathing, washing your hair, washing your face, and, well, washing pretty much everything. But for now, let's just start with bathing, shall we? Did you ever groom yourself while in your cat form? Oh, marvellous. Well, bathing is just like that, except with, soap and water. Oh dear, it seems that you have some hydrophobia, yes? All right, well, can you tell me how severe it is? Oh. Well, darling, we're going to have a bit of an issue then. You see, I adore having you here, I'll say it 1,000,000 times, but, there is a certain smell that you have as a result of living on the streets for so long. Don't worry, it doesn't make you a bad person, it doesn't make you a bad kitty. It's just, well, I know that Sebastian can be rather blunt and straightforward, so, if he comes over and he smells that, he's certainly not going to be as polite as I am about it. He'll most likely call you revolting or disgusting, all things that are not true about you, but, he certainly will say some rather rude things, and I don't want you to have to put up with that, darling. So, if it wouldn't bother you, I would like to attempt to get you in the water today. Oh, no, darling. There's no need to hiss. You'll see, the water is very warm, it's a comfortable temperature, and with plenty of soap, there are lots of bubbles in the water. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh, you don't know what bubbles are? Oh, darling, have I got a treat for you then? Do you see this bottle I have? Yes, it is filled with a rather odd liquid, isn't it? You see, darling, this is soap. It's rather viscous compared to water, and when combined with water and enough splashing about, there creates this froth, this foam, and it's entirely made of bubbles. Oh, yes, darling, I realize you don't know what bubbles are, but once you get in the water, you'll see. What's so great about bubbles? Darling, you have to see it to understand it. You're uncertain? Well, don't worry, you can start by just putting one hand in, or even just a finger if you're uncomfortable with your whole hand. Then you can ease your arm into the water, then hopefully the rest of your body. Oh, of course, if you don't like it, we can find another way to wash you up, all right? Oh, darling, as much as I would love to allow you to continue grooming yourself as you please, there is the issue of bacteria in your mouth. Oh, of course, darling. Bacteria and germs live everywhere. They're in our hair, in our bodies, especially in our mouths. Goodness, the amount of germs that a single mouth can hold, it's truly astonishing. But that's beside the point. The point is, it's very unsanitary for you to clean yourself with only your tongue. Soap, on the other hand, breaks down the oils on your skin and takes with it all the germs. Oh, yes, darling, I know there will always be other germs and bacteria on you, but it gets most of them, and that's better than nothing. Well, you might not be worried about it, and I am undead, so I suppose I don't have to worry about it, but there is another thing that is caused by licking yourself clean. Well, darling, germs often accumulate in people's mouths and in the mouths of all animals, and, well, as they reproduce and defecate in your mouth, it creates a rather unpleasant scent, and when you're cleaning yourself with your tongue, it makes you smell like germs, basically. No, darling, I'm not saying that you smell repulsive or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it is something to be mindful of. All right, darling. Just do your best to try to get used to the bathtub, all right? Yes, I know. Look, if you don't like it, you don't have to continue doing it. I won't force you. But we aren't going to allow you to continue to use your tongue while in your human form, at least. In your cat form, it is perfectly fine. That's how you are meant to be washed in your cat form. But your human form, it does require a bit more tending to. Now, come with me, would you? Yes, I promise I'm not going to force you into freezing cold water. Here, just feel this. See? It is rather warm, isn't it? Indeed, it is a rather comfortable temperature. Much better than the rainwater outside, don't you think? All right, now, take off your clothes, would you? Yes, I know that I wanted you to wear clothing while in your human form, but you don't want to get clothes wet, or at least you don't want them in bath water. You wash them separately as to avoid germs getting on you from the clothes or on the clothes from you. Look, I'll explain human logic later. Just take off your clothes, get in the tub, and I'll put the bubbles in. Yes, darling, I promise I won't look if it makes you uncomfortable. All right, now get in the water. Oh, is it too hot? Do I need to add a little cool water? Oh, all right, if you're sure. All right, let me know when you're settled. You're comfortable? Oh, good. Now I'm going to keep looking away. I'm going to pour the soap in, and I want you to splash around a little, okay? That'll get some bubbles frothing up, and then you can cover yourself. Oh, you sound like you're having fun, darling. Are you? Oh, good, darling. I'm so glad. Now, are you able to cover yourself as much as you want to? All right, very good. May I turn around? Oh, now don't you look adorable? Well, darling, were the bubbles worth it? I thought they might be. Oh, you know what's really fun? Here, I'm going to scoop a little up and plop it on your head. Why is that fun? Darling, there are bubbles on your head now. Isn't that silly? You don't find it fun? Well, how about you do it to me? It's much funnier when you're able to see it on someone else. Of course, I'm certain. Go right ahead. Oh, darling, I didn't mean throw it at me. Although that was rather funny, if I may say. Oh, you know what else is fun? Putting it on your chin like a fake bubble beard. Oh, yes, of course I can demonstrate here. I'm not too fond of it myself, but perhaps you would like to give it a try? Oh, now don't you look adorable with your bubble hair and bubble beard? Oh, goodness, I wish I had a camera. Oh, but I'm sure there will be plenty more bubble baths in the future if you like it. Oh, you do, darling? Oh, I'm so glad. Now, let's get to washing you, shall we? All right, now, I want you to scoot forward a little and then lean your head back into the water, all right? Yes, I know, but you won't drown, I promise. Oh, here, darling, this ought to help you. I'll keep my hand under your head, so if you start to go a bit too far, I'll push you right back up. There you go, all nice and comfortable. And now we can start washing your ears and your hair. Oh, it feels nice? Oh, I'm so glad. I'd hate it if you were uncomfortable, darling. Darling, what did you just call me? You called me your master, I believe. Darling, why did you call me that? I see. So it's normal for your kind to oftentimes take a liking toward a specific human, and then they're essentially, rather than being your owner, your master? I see. And do you find this demeaning at all? All right, well, as long as it doesn't bother you, there is just one little issue I have with it. I prefer the term mistress, if you wouldn't mind.